human being is a creature of in between. We are all set to carry the cross. The cross actually is a symbol that in a way separates and in a way connects. So if for example we can express the state of a human being as what we already saw and what we are yet to see, or the past and the future, and the choice, the initial condition that we already uh, took at the time of our first breath. So a human being is said to become conscious when he starts breathing. So the point of the moment of first breath is when, just like a camera, in an olden camera wherein if you t- click the picture, the film roll, the image that is being impinged on the first impression, that is called the choice. The future, you always think that there is a lot of possibilities, and we will talk more about this initial condition or the birth chart or the dasa or the current condition. Okay, there are different perspectives there. So basically human being is a creature of in between. There is always some or other form of dilemma, though whether he realizes it or not, there is a in between state. Now let us take an individual as watching a TV or a movie. So there is a theater or a TV box, so where he sees the movie. So who is seeing? The person who is seeing, the spectator, where he is seeing on the TV box. What he is seeing would vary based on what is being thrown on the, depending on the channel. There could be multiple owners. See, if it could be nature, or it could be others, or it could be some machines, or it could be a simulation, or you yourself could have created a dream which you are seeing. So it depends upon, it can vary, but you are seeing something wherein the owners could be multiple. So there could be multiple owners. So that becomes why you are seeing. The why you are seeing because there are multiple owners trying to affect what is displayed on the screen of the theater. And if you see, the moment you see something, it gets stored in the memory. And while seeing one current scene, you could recollect some past scene that you already saw from your memory. So it is the memory that is helpful to decide when you are seeing. On a blank memory, there is no time. So wherein you can't say at when you are actually seeing the particular thing. Only because of memory you are able to correlate the scenes, like this was first, this was second, so now this is a scene after this scene. That is possible because of memory, and the memory ever keeps changing. So you have who is seeing, the person, what he is seeing, the scenes on the thing, where he is seeing, the TV box or the, when he is seeing based on the memory, why he is seeing because of multiple owners trying to affect what is on the. After the scene happens and the individual reacts. But as we know, not all react to the same scene in the same way. The reaction varies. Why does the reaction vary? So here is where the concept of a lens comes. Depending upon what lens you wear to see the scene, the way you react would vary. So this lens is more connected to the choice or the so-called consciousness, the initial condition, the current condition, the memory, all these things are all connected. So when we say an individual is conscious, there are multiple elements that are present. So to understand this lens, we will draw the surface of this earth. So this is the earth surface. On the earth surface, an individual is born, or so wherever an individual is standing, you can break the earth surface into 12 boxes, the usual 12 house concept, wherein you have a horizon line, wherein anything above the horizon, anything below the horizon. So the individual is always between the 10 called the work and the 9 called the fortune. So an individual's 1, 10, 11, 12, 1, the so called the house of the Lagna is always to the right and is below the horizon. So the horizon is the line that says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The first 6 houses are below the horizon. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They are above the horizon. So the spatial separation are the outer values of the so-called body. It can be any body. Wherever the body is, you can break the circle of the earth into 12 parts. If you see, the one or the Lagna talks about independence. The immediate opposite house talks about partnership, 7th house. You can't be independent and be in partnership at the same time. But an individual wants to be independent at some times and wants to be in partnership at some other times. Same is the case with other aspects like the wealth and the ending, the support, the individual strength and his fortune, the strength, whatever his ancestors already did the work, his own status, the work and his happiness being at home. You can't be at work and be at home at the same time. The gains he wants to have and the punya or the natural skills, the being in debt or trouble or having enough resources to lose. So all these things are all values of the body. So you have 12 values of the body, the outer values. Now this, he is standing on the surface of the earth, his head, right? You can draw a circle. This is called the circle of the heaven or the zodiac circle. This is the circle of the mind. Here again there are 12 values. So depending on, based on at the time of the birth, as we saw here, he has to be in between something. So always it's in between. So it will be in between one Rasi or the other. So you have to always align in between any two Rasis. That would vary based on his time of birth. So if you draw another circle, there again there are 12 opposing ideas. The dilemma and faith. If you are in dilemma, you can't be in faith. If you are in faith, you can't be in dilemma. Faith is focused on one idea. Dilemma is seeing multiple ideas simultaneously. Here again, having drawn the circle, you can place the another circle called the circle of the views. In the circle of views, you place all the planets or the heavenly bodies, the moon, Mars, Sun, Mercury, Saturn, Venus, Rahu, Jupiter. See, you are placing all the views here. This is a circle of the views. Here, wherever the mind is, you can again draw as a horizon line. Call the mind, the mind man. See, this is the physical body man. This is the mind man. Again, if he can call 10, 11, 12. This is the 1, or the where the mind is present, that is the 1. Here where the lagna is present, that is the body. As you can see, there are 12 values of the body, 12 values of the mind, and the views. Views are more to do with the, if you had seen the idea of Easter egg, it will tell nothing is inside, everything is outside, nothing is on the other side, part is upright, part is upside down, everything is the seed. The so-called views in a way affect the values of the mind and the values of the body. Already many people have done work on what would be the impact of the views on the values of the mind and the values of the body. If you take Bhrigu Sutra, it will talk about what will be happen if sun is on the first house, what will happen sun is on the 10th house. So the influence of views on values, the surface values and also the values of the mind are clashing. So you have 24 values and 9 views. So this state, and again the views, the initial view would be one thing at the time of birth, but as time progresses the views keep on moving. So this is the influence of the transit. There is a branch of study called the Nadi astrology, which will talk about what will happen if a transit Saturn goes over a natal Mars, or a transit Saturn goes over a natal Moon. That kind of a, the clash of views itself, views itself is a branch of study. The influence of views on the moon, that's a gochara, that is a branch of study. But all what we are trying to study in an essence is, we are seeing with a lens. This lens is a mixture of values and views. So at the time of entry, we made a choice to give more importance to certain values when compared to other values. But at the current moment, because of the so-called influence of memory or the way other players influence the screen, we may rethink and think that certain, instead of we may assume that we have made a wrong choice, or we should have given more importance to some other values instead of the value that we originally chose. But whatever be it, your lens cannot change. The initial condition. So this is called the initial choice. So your current perspectives or the memory patterns can vary, but the initial condition will stay intact until you quit this instrument of mind body and take another initial condition. So until you die, you have the same initial condition. So this forms the one of the most important aspects of problem. So this is a summary. Who is seeing in the present? Where he is seeing a TV. In the case of reality, Our TV is nothing but our visual cortex. It's somewhere in the back of your head. You are already inside a 3D movie, holographic movie, and what you see is always the current scene, which is, you can only see the past, or though you think you are seeing the present, this itself is created few seconds before. When you see wood is nothing but a, depending upon your memory, lot of prior scenes would have come, but at any time you can only see the current scene, you can't see the prior scenes. And there are multiple owners. That could be natural, artificial, man-made, machine, illusion, dream. There are multiple owners who can vary this scene, and these prior scenes are stored in the memory. So because of prior scenes stored in a memory, there is an expected scene, and you see a current scene. So the expected scene is recollected, the current scene is perceived with the instruments. So there is a reaction when the current scene is not in line with the expected scene. So in the past, you can create an expected future. The expected future on a past scene, the current scene, the clash creates a reaction. The reaction is the various categories like the desire, anger, greed, lust, ego, jealousy, the kama, krodha, lobha, mogha, mada, matsarya. It's all in a way attachment to values. The 24 values, in some way or other, we give more importance to one value over the other. So nobody, you should not think that you are affected by future. So many people go to the astrologers thinking what will be their future. Actually the future, the so-called astrologers, they also see the past only, the initial condition, which is in the past. So we are not affected by future, but we are rather affected by the past. Not only one past, but different past, with memory as the root. So we should more worry about how you handle your memory. So in the present state, if you take the present, there could be multiple initial conditions. Not only you are living, there are so many people other living, which means who each have their own initial condition. Everyone have a common current condition, which is nothing but the planets in transit over the zodiac. There could be multiple people born at the same time or in different locations having the same or the almost similar initial condition, the zodiac plus house combination, but their memory usage may not be different. So though there are slightly, you can think of two twins having the same initial condition, but the way they use their memory will be different. So that is how the lens affects. If you take a cube, this talks about 6 faces. So if you change this cube to a Rubik's cube, though there are 6 faces, there are 9 paths. You can rotate the cube in 3 ways this way. Similarly, you can rotate 3 this way and 3 in the third direction. So there are 9 ways of turning, but however or whatever you turn, the alignment of the 6 center colors, right, the so-called axis, they are never going to change. So with respect to this axis, always this is going to be in one position, and this one, always this is going to, their colors can never change. So we will try to understand more about the direction of life in the next session. Thank you.